Hello, it's me again. My watch says 7:28, so I'm on here just a few minutes early, trying to get everything ready. And I was looking at the thing and I noticed how bright it was behind me. So that's a good thing. So it's been kind of rainy here in Ohio, and I'm looking at my hair. What do you think? You think it looks okay? I think it looks wonderful. So it was a little rainy here in Ohio today, and it's really a good thing to have the sun behind me, even though it's still a little bit rainy. So when you have the rain and the sun together, usually you'll see a rainbow. So what I want you to do is, if it's raining and where you are and it's a little bit sunny, when this is over, stick your head out outside or look through the window and see if you see a rainbow. And a rainbow is God's promise that He will never destroy what? Who remembers what a rainbow was a promise of? It is a promise of something, and it is a story from the Old Testament, and I'll give you a hint. It is with Noah. And Kayla read a story, Miss Kayla read a story about Noah, and what he had was 2 of each animal. So they went on the ark, and when all that happened and it was finished up, the rainbow was a sign of a promise from God that He would never flood the earth again. So I just wanted to share with you what all the sun behind me was, and the possibility of what a rainbow might. See if you see one. And you know what? If you do, please tell Miss Jill that you saw a rainbow and that you are so excited about what you saw, and it was something that you can share with me. I would love to hear from you. It is so exciting to be on here and sharing just a little bit of my day with you. And it's a little after 7:30 now, so maybe I ought to get started. But first I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for those who are continually supportive of this Bible reading for the kiddos. The Bold Movement is a women's ministry, and we are really striving to help women learn how to read their Bible, how they can study their Bible and learn more about it. We are so devoted to the process of sharing what God's Word can do for your life that we were just so excited. We thought, why not break that down to the kids? Why not now we are a women's ministry, but on the Bible reading, if you're a kiddo, you need to listen. We're so excited. So if you hear something that you like, or maybe something you didn't know, do not be afraid to share that with your neighbor or your brother or your sister, or maybe, my goodness, maybe even your mom or dad or your grandma or grandpa or Mima, Papa, whatever you call them. Share what you're learning, and it is a really unique way to let people learn more about what God has done in your life. So when you get a chance to hear something that's from God's Word, and you think, what exactly is God's Word? Well, that's the Bible. So we are supposed to use the Bible as a process for how to live our lives. It's kind of like a roadmap when you're going on vacation. If you're trying to find directions to somewhere, you're going to use the roadmap to get you there, right? So the Bible is our roadmap for our lives. Now, last night, I told you that we were going to start learning a little bit about the wars in the Bible. So I found a story tonight. It's called 300 Heroes. How many heroes did I say? Do you remember? It's about heroes. And what was that number? Do you remember? I'll give you a hint. 300. 300 heroes. So let's jump right in here and see what we can find about 300 heroes. I can't see any of the messaging this time, but I can see people joining in, and I want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your continued support and letting me know that you appreciate what we're doing, because it means a lot. And I want you to reach out to us and tell us how, what you're learning from it, or if there's something that you would like for us to read about. Let's see if we can dive in here and figure it out, okay? Here we go. 300 heroes. More and more of the men of Israel formed their way And the way that they were walking, they found that they were heading to where Gideon had raised the standard of revolt against the Midianites, until he had an army of 32,000. That's a big army. 32,000. That's right. 32,000. Too many! This was, oh my goodness. You have too many, said the Lord. Now, do you think if you're going to war that, let's look at this. If you're going to war and they had 32,000 people in their troops, do you think that's too many? Wouldn't you think that you'd want a whole bunch of people so you can defeat the enemy? Well, God said, you know what? I just want you to listen to me. So this is where this story gets interesting. He said you have too many. Well, this was really hard for any commander to understand, let alone this army commander. And God said, you know what? That's right. You have too many. The Lord told him, it's too dangerous to fight with so many, lest the people should take the glory of the victory to themselves. So what God's saying is, I'm going to help you get this victory. But if you have so many, you may not realize that I have my hand in it helping you. Really what you might think is, oh, I did it because I had 32,000 men. Or women, but I think back then it was men. So, what do you think the commander did? Do you think he said, no, we're going on with 32,000. Sorry, God, we don't need to listen to you. We got to win. What do you think the commander did? Let's find out. At the Lord's command, and to everybody's surprise, possibly your surprise too, Gideon said to the crowd of men around him, whosoever is fearful and afraid, let him return and depart. So he was saying, if you're scared, you don't have to fight. What? That's what he said. So to Gideon's dismay, he saw his army melt away. 22,000 men went home. 22,000 men went home. 22,000. That is a lot of men. Oh my goodness. What do you think happens next? I can't wait to find out. Can you? I imagine, now I don't know what you're thinking, but I imagine he would have said something like, this is impossible. With only 10,000 men left, perhaps he had better give up the whole idea, right? He might be thinking, forget it. I can't do this. But the Lord said, Gideon, the people are yet too many. Still too many? How could it be? He's already lost a whole bunch of people, and now they're saying we still have too many. Then the Lord told him to take the 10,000 men he had left. He had 10,000 men left. To take them over to a nearby stream, and he would point out which of them should go into battle. Now, I have to tell you, if I'm going to battle and I've got men who are just leaving because they're scared or they don't want to, so now I've lost I don't know how many, and I'm left with 10,000, and God's saying, look, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to point out the ones I want you to take. I think I'd listen to God. Would you? I think you would. I think you'd be like, okay, let's do this. So here they go. When all were gathered at the water's edge, they went to the edge of the water, the Lord told Gideon that all who went down on their knees to drink should be sent home. Can you imagine Gideon's surprise? Only those who brought the water to their mouths with their hands and lapped it as a dog lappeth were to remain. So that means if they were sitting down and maybe they got on their knees to drink, but the ones that just kind of like did like a dog would do, God said those are the ones that are fighting. Now what a unique way to figure out who's going to be in your army. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine what Gideon's saying? I bet he's saying, what on earth is happening here? When it was all over, how many soldiers do you suppose Gideon had left? Now, if you want to think about it, we talked about this at the very beginning. I said we were going to read a story about how many heroes? Do you remember? We talked about it. It's 3 digits. And it starts with a 3. How many were left? 300. That's right. That's right. When they were chosen, why were they chosen? And these people were chosen? Okay. I guess it's because, unlike all the others, they had not bent their heads when they drank, but kept their eyes on the enemy every moment. They were the only ones who were really eager to fight. Now what to do? How would Gideon hope to defeat the great host of Midianites? With such a handful, brave and devoted though they might be, you still only got 300 of them. When the Lord saw how worried Gideon was, he said to him, "By the 300 men will I save you." So God's saying, don't worry about the number. Just know that I'm in it for you. We're in it to win it together. Gideon, it's me and you. Now God's saying this. If he would tell me that, I would like to say that I would be comfortable and ready to go to battle, but I think I might be nervous like Gideon was, right? But if you hear God saying, look, I'll save you, that would make me feel a little better. And guess what? It happened. The Lord told Gideon to give each man a trumpet, a torch, and an empty pitcher. At the right moment, the torch was to be lighted and hidden inside the pitcher. Under cover of darkness, Gideon placed his men in 3 companies around the camp of the Midianites. Then in the middle of the night, at a signal from him, each man broke his pitcher, revealing the flaming torch. Then all blew their trumpets and shouted at the top of their voices, "The sword of the Lord and of Gideon!" What do you think happened? The sleeping Midianites awoke with a start, and seeing the torches and hearing loud shouts all around them, they presumed that the Israelites were attacking them from all sides. So they were losing their heads. They struck out right and left. They were killing each other by the thousands. The rest fled, with the 300 heroes chasing them, faint yet pursuing. A great victory was won, as great as any in Israel's history. It showed that God was still ready to help his people and still able to save them by many or by few. So this is a picture of them blowing their trumpets. And over here is a picture where they're in battle. So that was a really quick story, but it's a very powerful story. It talks about how you may have all the army that you need. And let's think about it. If, say, we're on a baseball team or a football team or something, you have to have a certain number of people to play. But not everybody is the best player, right? So if you think about, if you pray for your team, or if you pray for your classmates, or you pray for the people you go to church with, or if you pray for the people that you play with, and you're devoted to God being the champion, any battle it can be won. If you have God on your side, and when you pray to him and ask him to help you, he hears your prayers. So thank you for joining with me tonight. I can't wait to read you more battle stories in the Bible. But just know that even though there was 300 against all that other army, God showed them victory. He will show you victory over the things that you're battling in your life. Thank you for sharing a nighttime story with me. Don't forget to look at us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and there's one more. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I can't think of it. There's one more. But we have info, I-N-F-O, at theboldmovement.com. So if you, Pinterest, I remembered it, Pinterest. So if you have a minute, we would love to hear from you. So you could let us know how you feel about these stories. Is it helping you? is there any questions that you might have? Where in the Bible are these stories found? And what did it look like during those days? We would love to share those answers with you. So thank you so much for being a part of my evening, and I'm so glad to be a part of yours. I want you guys to have a really great night, and when you feel like you're in battle, don't forget, an army of 300 defeated a great big army because God was on their side. And if you have God in your heart and Jesus in your heart, He is on your side. So thank you for everything, Lord, that you're doing for us. And just know that when the battles get tough, we are overcomers because God is our leader. Have a super great night. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Bye, guys. Take care. Hey, April! Thank you for joining. Have a great night, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.